But every day is different. It's early yet. We just got here. We had lunch. Sit down here. Well, we just finished lunch. We washed up about 4 inches of sand. We're about ready to head back out. We're going to try to do some mud riding here shortly. So far it's been a great day. The view is fantastic. The sand, well, it's eatable or edible. Let's put it that way. So hey, come along. Let's get back out and hit the trail.
I didn't know just how this afternoon's ride would top what we did this morning. We had some great trails and a lot of cutbacks and just a whole heck of a lot of riding fun. If it hadn't been for the dust, it would have just been a perfect morning. So we ate our lunch and we all got back on our machines and headed out. We headed back towards an area where they're building a lake for the competition they'll be holding in April for it's called the Baja, and it's sponsored this year by UAB, which is the University of Alabama at Birmingham. It's 100 teams of engineers who are going to try to build the perfect machine to complete this course. And our trail riders had a great time last year helping them with the towing and so forth. But then as we got to the end of the lake, we began to hit a little bit of water. So we could tell that this whole portion was going to be different the next time we showed up. And we'll finally get that lake built and so forth. There was a few big bumps and hadn't seen a whole lot of mud yet, but we really hadn't gotten to the trails that supposedly the mud was at. They're marked Extreme, and by the looks of the folks ahead, we weren't far away. The last park that I went to was made for mud. And here we go. When we first made the turn onto the Extreme, we came upon a big mud puddle. Remember now, there hasn't been any rain in this area in 4 to 6 weeks. So in order for this mud to be still laying here, this really has to be a low-lying area. All the other places in the park are dried up. So just put your mind to imagining what this would look like if we had 2 or 4 inches of rain and all that water came down off the hills, and this is where it would settle. You'll see some of the very large crevices or wheel mark tracks that have been cut into the trails. Some of them are 3 or 4 feet deep. You take those little pockets and fill them with water, and you just don't know what you're going to run into when you go through it. I decided to miss this puddle, but one of the guys in the side-by-sides took his grandson through it. Didn't have any problems. I enjoy riding more than, or as much as the next guy. I try to avoid problem areas and deep holes and mud and so forth are near problem areas. We're now taking a bypass because the other main portion of this trail was washed out with very, very deep gullies and it was impassable. So but I guess it's passable when it fills up with water. I don't know, but I'm glad that we took this trail. Like I said, I'm not into the mud and the water. That kind of causes problems with the machine. Remember that these are well-built machines, so you add mud and water to some of the mechanisms and you have problems.
Stoney Lonesome. That's got to be a country western song named after this place.
So right now my adrenaline's running a little high. We're seeing a lot of deep ravines that the tires don't seem to go through. There's another cut off there that's been cut off from us, and I'm glad of it. But there's a lot of mudders that would really love to go through that stuff. They're the ones that you'll see that have snorkels on there with the big mudder tires and the extended ground clearance and the rear differentials. We have a solid axle. There's a deep hole. A lot of mud right there. Like I'm saying, we have a solid axle, which tends to be a hindrance in mud and so forth, because it's kind of a solid object, and when you get into mud and stuff, you've got to a lot of times ride in two different altitudes as far as your wheels go. Independent suspension is definitely better for mud than a solid single rear suspension. But I'm telling you that if you get a chance to go to Stoney Lonesome, ride both, the easy and the extreme. One problem that we didn't have to face, and I'm kind of glad of it, is there are some very big hills. Actually, they're small mountains, and they are mostly rock. The trail is mostly rock. If you go 6 inches down or 8 inches down under the soil, you come upon a shale, a rock deposit. And when that gets wet and you're coming down the mountain, you're coming down the mountain. So we were kind of glad that we had the perfect conditions. Dust is nothing compared to some of the other problems that you may have with some of the extreme conditions. These trails kind of look dry, but if you put another 3 or 4 inches of rain on them and all the water from the mountain settles into this area, we'll probably be riding 6 or 7 inches of water right here. There's a stream that runs to the right of this trail, and that would collect the water and overflow its banks, I'm sure. You see that we are actually riding around. We're taking the detours around most of the bad holes because they have dried and they've become just very deep crevices. There's very little water in it, which is a good thing for me, because it would have been really tough if it was full of water to determine just exactly how deep it was. These trails had a lot of good riding, a little bumpy sometimes. There's a downed tree. There was a pass that you just couldn't get through. But the trails are in good shape. And this port, I tell you, I spend a lot of time riding alone, going out to different places and doing my video and trying to bring information to people. But getting out with the Cheehaw Trail Riders Association, it's just a blast. You know, we had 15 people who just at the send of an email are there ready to ride. And these people are real friendly. They'll help you with anything you need help with. It's just a good time. If you have an opportunity, get involved with a riding club. We're members of the Cheehaw Trail Riders Association, and we're the only two actually that live in South Alabama. But if you want to get involved in a group, we're trying to get a South Alabama division of the Cheehaw Trail Riders Association together. And the reason we hook up with them is because of the great organization that they put together. The people who run that organization are fantastic. They're out for the good of sport, for the good of the association, and the individual. You can't beat better people than the guys that run this club. So if you get a chance, hey, look them up on the webpage, Cheehaw Trail Riders Association, and believe me, they'll be glad to have you as a member. Now we're kind of pulling out of the lowlands and coming up some of the hills. There's a lot of switchbacks and riding the ridges here, and it's just beautiful. If you turn to the right, you can look up the mountain. If you turn to the left, you can look down the mountain. It's a very steep drop. But the trail's in such good shape that you really have no fear of going off the sides. There's trees along the side, and there's really nothing that you have, no holes, no big rocks. So just nice, clear trails. And I tell you, if you get a chance to get to Stoney Lonesome in Bessemer, Alabama, do it. You'll be glad you did. What a great place. Great people. The price is right. Some of these places will be charging you $50 to $60 to $80 a day to ride. You'd have to pay an insurance fee for your vehicle and a per person fee and everything else. Here it's $11 for a day. If you're a member of the organization, $16 if you're not. I mean, you can't beat it. And they watch out for you. There's radio controlled stations throughout the park. There's GPS markings if you were to get lost. If you were to get hurt, there's telephones where you can pick up the phone, call the administrative office, and they can get a helicopter to you and airlift you out. It's just great. It's a great place to ride in northern Alabama. Now let's just sit back and watch the rest of the ride.
But every day is different. It's early yet. We just got here. We had lunch.